Figure 4 Radio. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Figure 4 Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Figure 4 Radio. It's the Mastermind Ollie Spring, and today I am joined by Liam / Jack / both. Jack Cave, Liam Wally, yeah, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good. Very good.
So usually I start off these things by jumping into how people got into the industry, how they discovered it as a fan. I'm going to scrap all that for now. We'll cover it later on.
Yeah.
So last night I received a message saying, have you seen the Hope video? And I'm sitting there at DOA Wrestling doing my commentary. I'm like, no, haven't seen anything. I'm doing my work here. Sent a link, and I just see, I see obviously you talking in the ring. I see Dale in the ring. I can't hear it because I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing. I say no, I can't really watch it. No sound. What's going on? It just says Cave versus Dale, hardcore for Hope. I was like, well, like I don't even know where to start. I don't mean, would you even know where to start?
I don't know. I've spent the past however many years, maybe 2 years, in Hope as this person that's as a character, being on the longest losing streak ever. I think it's like 0 and 23 that I've...
Is it only 23?
Yeah, it seems a lot more.
Yeah.
It does seem a lot more. I think it's actually only 23. But the past 6 or 7 months backstage, it's been me and Harvey that's been running it.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of people will know like the situation, which I'm sure we'll cover. That's happened over the past month, 2 weeks to a month maybe, and that kind of has now, like I said, blurred the lines into the actual what's going on in the show, and would kind of take it on from there. So I didn't know as of yesterday if I'd be carrying on my involvement with Hope.
Yes. Yeah.
And then a conversation was had, and it got to the stage where last night happened essentially, and we're kind of moving forward from there.
Yeah. So I guess from going back to kind of square one. So how long have you actually been wrestling? Just out of curiosity, we'll cover that bit first. So
I think it's about 2.5 years.
Because
sporadically,
to me, for the position you're in versus that time length that you've been wrestling and like in the business, it's crazy. So what? I mean, there's people that have been in twice as long as you and haven't even come close to wanting to run shows and stuff.
I'm a lot better at promoting than I am at wrestling.
Okay. So
we'll get out there right now.
Was promotion something that you were ever interested in, or was that something I guess there was a not an opportunity, but there was obviously a gap that needed filling, or some help that was needed with Dale?
Essentially, I started off wrestling because I wanted to try wrestling in Sheffield at a school called EBW in Sheffield. And I'll be honest, and I think it's quite widely known about me that I'm quite lazy when it comes to the training side of things.
Okay.
And I started off in EBW, got given opportunities by him really early on.
EBW, is this the company that there's also been a bit of heat with recently about making picking stuff? Not that I'm not going to speak for them. I'm aware that there's been a bit of friction. That's the company.
Between the two companies. Yeah. Which I've made a promise now to almost not address and badmouth any other companies now, because all I want is my view of wrestling is to everybody work together. That is all that I want.
The first I've ever heard of them is from, I think, when you were talking about them attacking the training school. Yeah. I'm not going to judge them on that because I'm sure there's positive things in there as well. I'm not going to pretend.
The positive thing about them is they gave me a chance right at the beginning, and I'll always be thankful for them giving me the chance. And I think they saw with myself something that a lot of people struggle with, where a lot of people can get in there and do the training and learn how to do moves and whatnot. I've always been quite a natural talker. Yeah. So they kind of kept putting a microphone in my hand. I'd put on an okay match, but I'd always back it up with being good on the mic, which is in this business a lot of people struggle with that side of things. Can do all the moves, and I am literally opposite. I struggle with so much of the most basic stuff.
I was having this exact conversation literally last night on the drive home. Wrestling isn't actually about wrestling.
No,
it's about everything that isn't wrestling. It's about the whole facade. I kind of guess facade behind the fact that there's this sports thing going on in the ring, but it's about everything else. Your music, the way you walk, the way you talk. It's everything but wrestling, really. Like it's a bizarre industry.
I respect people that can wrestle more than anybody will. Like, I watch people like El Ligero, Kip Sabian, Chris Tyler, and 1,000 or more, Bram, T-Bone, hundreds and hundreds of them, even guys down at Sacrifice today. Tybee Lee's a personal favourite of mine. Frankie Vegas, people that can actually wrestle. Twister, I love Twister, I think he's great. That go in there, put their bodies on the line. And as much as it isn't about wrestling, those people that can do that.
There is, obviously it's in there. I'm not writing it.
No, not. But I respect those people that can do that.
Yeah.
Especially somebody like El Ligero, who, without saying a single word, can make a crowd hate or
out the play. They're in the palm of his hand.
No matter what. One of the best in the world, in my opinion. So I respect them, but I've never been an athletic person. Like, I was terrible at everything at school. So this is probably the most athletic thing that I've ever done. But EBW gave me a chance because I was good on the mic. I could talk, and they gave me that chance. I will forever be thankful for them. And then my training is sporadic. Sometimes I'll go through a real burst of like being really motivated, wanting to learn all that kind of stuff, and then sometimes I'll just be lazy. I work shifts in my other job. Sometimes I'm up at like 4 in the morning and stuff.
What job's that?
I work as an immigration officer. Okay, so I work shifts.
Yeah.
And people will say, well, so do I, but I'm just fundamentally quite lazy and tired a lot. And I'll hold my hands up and admit that. So
I guess if you're talking to the thing that's got you to where you are, then that comes naturally to you. I guess. So whereas the training, I mean, I can count the amount of times I've stepped inside a gym on one hand, like in my entire life. That's just not me. I know that's not me, and I think if I ever were to have to get into that, it would be like you say. It would be I'm kind of lazy, so
I would much rather sit and play on FIFA than go to the gym. So sometimes I get really motivated, and I'm so into it and stuff. But essentially, I'm in ring. So you say that people in my position, after 2.5 years, some people would never even imagine being in that position. But on the other side of the coin, people that have been wrestling for 2.5 years are probably 1,000 times better than I am actually in the ring.
Okay.
So nowadays I just like sort of hardcore matches out and just get smashed over chairs. It's just
the easy way out.
So essentially Dale has always been somebody that's, if you come along to shows and show the effort and put the effort in, help set the ring up and all that kind of stuff, that you'll get somewhere out of it. And that is essentially what I did. I started going along to the shows, introduced myself, and then he was like, do you want to go? And I wrestled a few times for him on there with a tag partner at the time, Ryan Lee, under One Vision, which seemed to get over quite well. And then I didn't hear from him for quite a while, and then I got a call. I was going to go to the King of Flights tournament, and I'd like been joking about being on King of Flight because like the last thing that I don't even think I've ever been on top rope. So, but I'm not a King of Flight. And then he rang me up and he says, I think it was Jay Garner had to pull out. Do you want the spot? The quick squash match, get the crowd, because I think I was against Kyle Ashmore. And Kyle Ashmore's a real talent. He's great, but people up in Mansfield at the time, I don't think they knew who we were. So they put me in with him. He literally squashed me within a minute, if that, after like cutting a promo and all that kind of stuff. Beat me within a minute, and then the match after they were 100% behind him because they were like, right, well he's seen Jack Cave off, who was obviously this big idiot, and they were behind him then. And I have people quite a lot saying, can we get Kyle Ashmore back up to Mansfield and stuff, which will eventually.
It's a name that always pops up on the Hope Army page, isn't it?
He's a real talent. He's got a good look, and he's great in ring. So I kind of sporadically started this thing where the losing streak started, and there was like the vast majority of them were squashers. Just like against Barricade, I think he beat me twice, like with one move and all that kind of stuff. And it's the whole wrestling thing's a circus where you have to have different things going on.
That's it,
and my job was to go out there, make them laugh as a heel, as a bad guy. which seemed to work.
Yeah,
and it's kind of evolved from there.
I guess if it comes easy for you, then that's an easy night. You don't need to worry about going to the gym if you can just go out there, grab a microphone, dip
I definitely do need to worry about going to the gym from time to time.
So at what point then did you start helping out with the organisation? Did you go to Dale, or did he kind of say, mate, I really need a hand? Or
Dale, so he, from what I understand, he's had numerous business partners, and he just wanted to expand the business almost. And he just messaged me out of the blue one day saying, have you ever thought about doing this? And I'm like, I had previously nearly started running with somebody else, which didn't happen. And then it was just a conversation, just like a little conversation. We met and I went to Yo Sushi or something in Nottingham. And we just talked about it, and it kind of snowballed from there. But then it obviously snowballed a bit more and more and more, and the whole vision at the minute with the Hope thing was, right, so we're gonna almost be Progress or ICW and put these kind of cards on. And for what we're running at the minute, it wasn't the best business choice right now.
Yeah. As in the people you were wanting to put on, and
as in the cost of it.
Yeah,
wrestling is an expensive game now.
It is.
And essentially that snowballed into situations that have been quite stressful. Dale's got a lot going on in his personal life and all that kind of stuff, which is for him to talk about, not for me to talk about. Unless it's in the middle of wrestling, like last night. So he's got had a lot of stuff going on, and it was just a case of, I'm getting married this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Which is again an expensive game.
I'm halfway down that path already, and all I'm thinking is, you know what? If we're not getting married and we had all that money in our bank right now, we could just go anywhere we wanted,
anywhere in the world,
for as long as we wanted, and we'd be pretty. But yeah.
So essentially, Dale with his issues have been going on. Like I said, they're for him to talk about.
Yep.
He kind of went offline for a bit, and then there was a big crossing of wires essentially, where I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this.
And was that when you put out the status on the Hope Management page saying, look, you know, at this point forward, we're just going to cancel the shows because it's so. Just before that, so you put on a show. There was a show where you had no idea who was booked. You had no graphics. You had no idea.
That was the only thing that I did have. I had 4 graphics.
Oh, okay. So you had an idea in 4 matches, but you still managed to pull this show out your arse and.
So essentially, the story was, again, for reasons which we'll not go into because it's just a big.
It's not really worth it at this point.
Not really worth it right now.
It's in the past.
Dale wasn't there.
Yep.
I didn't really know what was going on. I had 4 match graphics, and then the email that had been sent to the graphic maker had another one. So there was 5 requested and only 4 came.
Yep.
So I had the 4, which were Eminem versus Aussie Open, Travis Banks versus Chris Brooks, Jimmy Havoc versus Bram, and then another one, which I can't remember what it were.
Yeah.
And then there was a 5th one with some of the guys on it. So that's all I had at the time, which I had to find that because I was like, I'm sure I've seen an email about it, so I found that.
Yeah.
Started getting in touch with people. Turned out like 2 days before I spoke to Jimmy Havoc, and Jimmy Havoc was injured, unfortunately. Travis Banks was also injured. So that was two of the matches that were completely different. So
yeah.
And then because Jimmy was supposed to be bringing the Eminem boys up, is it Mayhew and Mills?
Yeah.
It was like, right, I'm supposed to sort them out, and then there was people that we didn't have graphics for that were booked apparently, so they were getting in touch with me saying what's going on. So essentially,
that's got to be stressful as hell, right?
That was stressful, trying to sort everything out and get people in, and all whilst not having any idea where Dale were. Worried as a friend,
of course.
Worried about him. Put the show on. Long story short, lost a hell of money, a hell of a lot of money, my own personal money. And that was the moment where I was like, right, I can't do this. Yeah,
because you're gonna just you put in everything you've got into it, and you're not gonna get anything back from it. And
it was a lot of money that I lost, and essentially that was that. And the plan was initially to cancel the March shows. If I could have got somebody to run those shows, like just to slide in just for those 3 shows, so the fans didn't miss out on a show, the wrestlers didn't miss out on a booking. Everybody had been happy, and then I could have stepped away just for a month, and then hopefully Dale would have reappeared. And if he did reappear, then he could have run them, but I wanted nothing to do with it. If he didn't reappear, somebody hopefully could have slotted in, do those few months, and then if Dale did appear, we start running again from April.
It's almost like a big reset button. Let's just rip the band-aid off, as it were, and just
And then
start from scratch.
The third option was if Dale did appear and say, look, I want nothing else to do with this, or if he did appear and he was like, or he didn't appear again, and he was like, he just stepped away from it completely. I was like, I don't want all the people to miss out, so then I'll step in and start running something on my own.
Yeah.
But the main thing was, I was hoping, fingers crossed, that Dale was going to turn up and just put the shows on, and then I could discuss with him what the situation were, which is essentially what happened.
Yeah.
We had the conversation yesterday, and the thing is now, the entire storyline is that close to the bone.
This is it. It is. I don't doubt that for a.
I've seen people on the Hope Army group or people commenting on the video like, well, yeah, we've been worked all along. This has been a genuine. Me and Dale, I was never going to fall out with him as a friend, but as a business partner, up until 5 o'clock or whatever time yesterday where I saw him, I was done. I was out.
Of course.
But we've had a conversation where there's just going to be a few changes about how it's run. It's going to be run smarter and more like a business.
So wait, I mean, say smarter, is that like limiting those kind of progress? Because when you say progress cards, I guess you mean like booking the mega big names, usually most promotions would book one or two of them as the main and then have their guys on, whereas you were planning on just having a whole card, or just stacking the cards basically.
Stack cards are great, and these Mansfield fans and the Leicester fans, they deserve those stack kind of cards, but when it comes to a situation where it gets to a situation where we're stacking his cards that much that it's causing a negative effect on the company,
the balance is tipping. It
gets to the stage.
Well, that's what happened. There was what was that company? I want to say, was it 1PW? Which is
like the old, like from back in the day.
Like
we had AJ Styles on Doncaster Dome.
That's it. Yeah. So like they were booking like the biggest names from around the world, and not drawing enough to even cover one of the not even cover flights. Obviously, you don't want to go the way that they went because it's kind of famous. They went down like the Titanic, and
essentially, it's either steady the ship or let the ship go down. I think that something that's quite important, which Hope lacks a little bit at the minute, is storylines. I think you can use, instead of using 20 top guys, you could use 10 top guys, 10 middle tier guys who will put on brilliant matches. Add in the element of more storylines, people are going to start caring. That's my vision of wrestling. I'm a sucker for WWE. I love WWE.
Same.
I love the storyline. Sometimes I fast forward it all just to see what's going on. I'm a real sucker for that side of things. I know that some promotions are like wrestling purists and they don't really care. They just want to see good wrestling matches.
Which is fine balance for them. But it's and like you say, it's a circus, isn't it? Some people you just want to see two guys kick the shit out of each other. Some people want to want to sit and watch a soap opera. So
it's got to be a balance of both. And obviously we've got the Future Show, which is the Future shows, which are the ones that I was in charge of completely.
That's still the case.
That's still the case. That's still me. That's fully in charge of that.
So was Future? So it's another kind of big thing. I'd love to kind of hear about. So was Future your kind of idea, or was
Future? Dale ran a couple of Future shows a couple of years ago, actually called Future 1, 2 and whatever. So we've kind of disregarded them. But Tyler Bate was on a Future show.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the first one.
Wow.
I'm sure he was on the. And obviously look at Tyler now.
Yeah, he's done alright for himself, I guess.
He's not doing bad.
Yeah.
So the Future shows were essentially the shows where the way he sold it to me was the people that, with the way that we were taking Hope at the time, like really pushing
with those stack cards,
these stack cards, these people aren't getting much of a chance. So, and he was like, so maybe we should put shows on for them. And then I took that away, like sat down and wrote like 6 months worth of storylines, and ran it quite differently to the way the main cards are run, where I've like we've got a group and like the whole like availability thing, as you'll know, part of it. Who can work when, and then sit down, right, so I've got A, B, C and D can work here and here. Let's write a storyline from here to here, get to there, and then I know exactly what's happening. If people drop out, then like I can mix it around. I've got that set thing for 6 months up until 7 months up until July of this is what the storylines I'm going to tell. At the minute it's difficult for the Future shows because these are new venues, and I think a lot of new fans, and we've had two shows where the first show was like 115 people, and they were really quiet.
They were. It was the quietest I've ever seen.
Weird. And maybe it is because they're brand new to the thing, and I kind of made the maybe the mistake almost of going down the thinking they'd know who they were. Where a lot of them didn't. So at the second Future show, we had a lot more promos and that, like film promos to introduce people to exactly what were going on. I think that the Future brand will build and build and build.
There's no reason why it can't.
Like more and more and more. It's just the way that me and Dale kind of drifted apart for the past however many month almost. We've just not promoted things very well. Like he's a massive sucker for Facebook promotions. Postering and stuff, and we just took a spot off gas. We're too interested in clashing heads almost. Or not even clashing heads, knowing about it, just like being. As wires being so crossed, him thinking everything was fine, me not being able to get in touch with him, and thinking he's gone. He's left here. I'm left in the lurch. Where realistically, he just thought everything was okay, and he just stepped away because of his stuff that's going on.
Of course,
So the Future shows they are designed to get people ready for the main shows. That's what it's all about. To get these people, as NXT does. Get people familiar with them. Hopefully the people that come to the main shows will come to the Future shows eventually. Give them a try, and then they can be made aware of what's going on in the future, and then they'll be ready for the main shows going on. We've got the Leicester show as well, which is also going to be almost like bridging the gap in between. The Mansfield shows are Monday Night Raw. It really is.
I've been to one, and that crowd was probably the hottest crowd I think I've ever seen.
They are insane. The Leicester is a bit more family run and family orientated. So it's just about now appealing to the audience of each one. The three very different shows. So we'll be moving forward, treating them as they almost should be, whilst putting on the best show that we can for everybody.
Kind of makes me laugh as I sat down with Harvey probably about a year and a half ago now, I think, and I was hearing how Hope was the evolution of House of Pain, and it was like he wanted to give the guys a chance to get better in order to get on the House of Pain shows, and now it's almost like it's come full circle. So now you're doing exactly what he was doing all those years ago, starting Hope. And
Hope now is a challenger to a lot of promotions up and down the country. It's a fact. It is. The shows that they do put on. And even if we don't stack the cards as much, the shows that will still get put on will still be great. And people will still tweet about them and say how good they are and all that kind of stuff.
The more you talk about these stacked cards, the more I'm thinking to myself, you don't need them. Because like you say, you look at the people like what I said at the start with Huss, just how he's been built in even Hope itself. Proof that he's not a world kind of renowned draw. He's not flown in from Australia or America. He's homegrown, and he potentially gets a better reaction out of the crowds than some of these stacked card matches.
Absolutely. So he does, and I think that is what I was saying about earlier. Storylines are very important, and Hustle's story from debuting, being undefeated for however long, going up against all the legends that he got put against, beating them and putting on some good matches and getting better and better and better. The fans are invested in him. Like even the fans that are the hardest to please are invested in Team Mad as a whole.
You've cracked them.
So like the massive shows. I mean, some like anniversary shows and whatnot. They deserve right. So we're putting an anniversary show on. Let's throw everything at it. And it is what it is.
That fourth anniversary show was just. It's not very often I get to watch a show as a fan rather than working it and having to worry about it, but just kind of letting go of the reins and sitting back and soaking up that whole experience. It was just the closing of that the main was just, it still brings goosebumps on the back. It was crazy. It
was great, and that is what Hope is. So now we've got this standard here. So the future shows are right. Let's get these people ready, because you never know. Like every couple of months you're getting somebody that's like, right, they're getting signed to WWE or they're getting signed to New Japan,
all of a sudden they're gone and
they're gone.
There's another gap to fill.
There's a gap to fill. Let's get these people ready. Somebody called Dave DeVille. Dave DeVille's like
he was
show.
Possibly the standout guy from Hope Future One for me. They're just more for the gimmick than the actual. Again, his ability to talk and get his character over rather than the actual in-ring stuff. I thought that was brilliant.
Dave DeVille once wrestled Sheamus on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I heard that story somewhere. It'll
probably be I tell it to everybody. And that character, so he had a typical Southerner character, and William Regal sat and spoke to him about it, and that's what develop this new character that he's got, and it works.
Yeah.
And he has got every bit of potential to once, I don't know, Chris Brooks or whoever gets signed to WWE, for example, if that happens. David Bill, if we get the Hope fans behind him enough, is the person that can slot into that spot. And more people will slot into the spots because people will go, whether or not they stop wrestling or they go and move to America or they move to Japan or go. There's always going to be gaps that will be filled. So the future shows are about making people familiar and good enough to put into these main Mansfield shows. Yeah. People need to give them a chance. They really do. Like, they're very, very, very storyline based.
Yeah.
Very, very storyline based, and I think that's my vision of how to almost not in a disrespectful way to the guys on those shows, but they're not the well-renowned names. So let's make people care about them through the storylines. So by the time they get to the main shows, they're known.
Just like NXT, I guess.
They can be put into a throwaway match, but it'll be very good because they're ready for it, and people know who they are. So that's long and short of the future, really. Yeah, that's the plan.
So let's talk more about you. I guess we've covered so much of the other stuff.
I'll rabbit on a bit.
That's a podcast. So I'd be disappointed if you didn't. If we kind of go back to the very start, so I always love hearing about how people discovered wrestling, just full stop. So one day you're a kid and you're just playing football in the park. Next thing you know, you've been shown this thing. Like, how were you kind of introduced to the crazy world of wrestling?
When I was a kid, we never had Sky Sports or anything.
Same, yeah.
So I had like 4 tapes. One was Royal Rumble '97, where it were Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid in main event.
Yeah. Was that the run that had nobody in it, basically?
Yeah, it was like there was loads of Mexican wrestlers and stuff. Yeah, It was in I think it was in Texas.
It was, yeah, because it was so. That's why there was. Was that the one that was like a 3-on-3 Mexican tag match that was just a clusterfuck? Yeah. No rules. They just did stuff and then went home.
Yeah. And there was the fake Razor Ramon was in it as well. I remember that.
And fake Diesel and
and it was Kane. Kane was fake Diesel actually. In that match. So I had that, and then I had I can't remember what it was. In Your House, Beware of Dog.
Yeah.
I think that was Savio Vega versus Stone Cold in a strap match.
And that was the one where the power had gone out on the Sunday night, so they had to refilm it. Yeah.
Which strap matches? If there's anybody out there that ever wants to book me in a match, I would love to do a strap match. They're my favourite things in the world.
To be fair, that Stone Cold Savio Vega match, that as far as strap matches go, that is like the epitome. Yeah. That was like the pinnacle.
It's great.
Yeah.
I might as well put myself in, actually.
I was going to say, like, what's stopping you?
Just by a strap. So I had that, and then I had another one where the storyline was Shawn Michaels running off with British Bulldog's wife.
Okay, yeah.
And I can remember I had these 3 tapes, and I think there might have been another, I can't remember what it were, but they're the 3 that I remember. And I remember my mum being really mad because my dad had just left my mum, and she really hated the story about Shawn Michaels stealing British Bulldog's wife. And I can remember like taking that away, like, you're not watching that one. I was like, okay. So but apart from that, like that, they were my core wrestling things. And I had a mate called Baz that I used to. He did have Sky, and he used to like sleep at his house, and he used to go up to bed. And I used to watch Nitro. I'm thinking like TNT channel or something like that. And then apart from the other side of it, my grandma used to tell me like the stories of Giant A-Stacks, Big Daddy and stuff like that. And then after that, I kind of stepped away from being a fan again not through having Sky Sports.
A lot of people I know have this kind of thing where you get into it, you fall out of it, and then something happens to hook you back in. So
the entire period of John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, all them. Just nothing. And
same for me, yeah.
I think I had WrestleMania 20, I think I bought that on DVD from some shop or something, so I had that. But the thing that got me back into wrestling fully was CM Punk dropping that pipe bomb thing.
Okay.
That was the moment where I was like back invested. I think I just like started living on my own kind of thing and got Sky. And I can remember I missed the whole CM Punk against Jeff Hardy thing, so even as close as that I weren't watching.
Same,
where it was, even when he was doing the where he had the straight edge gimmick, with the guys that shaved their heads and that.
Yeah, Gallows the chick that made up. She came back to the Mayhem Classic, didn't she? With her, I can't remember her name now, but
so even up to there, I weren't watching. So it started off with this CM Punk pipe bomb thing, where I was like watching it, thinking, "Is this real?" Like completely worked. Like just like, is this real?
So that's when they kept cutting the mic and and just
being like, to my mates, have you seen this? And completely falling for it, and then just being like, right. And then I went through the natural thing of, look, you know, John Cena's crap and all that kind of stuff. I don't like John Cena, and I don't like this person or that person or whatever. And then as I got involved in wrestling, you start respecting people like John Cena.
This is it,
and you start.
The more you realise what it's all about, and you're like, actually.
And now John Cena's one of my favourites. I think he's great. So yeah, it were. I don't really know. I can remember like used to play it at school and stuff, which you don't try this at home and all that kind of stuff. But all I can remember from being young is having these 3 tapes. My grandma talking about it, and then being able to watch it every now and then. It was like Channel 4 from every. There was a
little period, where did the tapes come from? Were they just randomly?
I've no idea. They might have been my brothers or something. Okay. They just turned up, or maybe my mum bought them me or something. But like I said, we just didn't have Sky or out, so it was a case of I just watched these tapes all the time. And it must be why they still stand as like some of my favourites, like that Savio Vega versus Stone Cold. Stone Cold in that Rumble where the other tape I had was after that. It was a fatal 4-way match between Undertaker, Bret Hart, Stone Cold and somebody else. So it was the match. The Rumble happened and he cheated to win the Rumble, and then it was the event afterwards.
It was the Final Four. That was what it was called. I think. It was the Final Four people, and
that was the other video that I had. So it was just those 4, and I just watched them all the time. Fell out of love with it. Always played the games. Always had every single game that ever came out. Loved the games, but just through not having Sky, really.
Yeah, it was. I had a friend. I think he's actually in there today. He would tape all the pay-per-views, and then kind of just hand them to me the next day at school. And I'd watch them and then hand them back, and he'd tape something else and hand it over. And like, but these are the stories I love, because no one in their right mind is ever going to say Royal Rumble '97 that's like literally known as like the worst Rumble ever. But for you, that event was like one of the 4 ones that got you into it. So that's why I love these stories. Was there any wrestlers that kind of stood out for you that you kind of remember thinking like?
That I loved.
Yeah, when you first got into it, because
weirdly, Wildman Mark Merrow. I love the Wildman Mark Merrow.
These are the names that come up, because you ask anyone their favourite wrestler, it's always one of 10.
Yeah.
Asking the first person that made an impression, you open it up to anything now. I love Mark Merrow.
I can remember loving Mark Merrow, and I can remember really loving Sable.
Yeah.
I really love Sable. I can remember loving Jerry Lawler, because of the way you got into that Rumble and eliminated. I mean, I've used that spot so many times.
Sat down,
wasn't ready. Out. But for some reason, the Wildman Mark Merrow was somebody that I properly, and he was on one of those tapes. Can't remember who he was against, but I'm sure he lost.
Yeah.
But like from being younger, I always liked Stone Cold from that performance. Never been a massive Bret Hart fan. I was never like a fan of that. But being younger, like the ones that would have stood out back then. Because I think I had like one of those like plastic toys that was like that, and Wildman Mark Merrow, or like a fake version of him or something. But I could probably say like 5 of his matches that I've ever seen, but I couldn't just from this.
This is it, but it's weird how these are the ones that stand out when you first get into it before you really know what's going on.
And Goldust completely weirded me out as a kid from these tapes. But no, from like outside of the obvious, I think I'm so nowadays in wrestling, so 2011 onwards, so since then I've been to Survivor Series, I've been to WrestleMania twice, and I've been to Royal Rumble.
I hate you so much.
So current wrestling I'm all about. When people talk about like I've seen that match from like 2001 like Survivor Series or something, I'm like no idea.
My kind of current thing that I'm still trying to do is watch every main show from WrestleMania 1 through to current day, and I've watched everything from like 85 through to I want to say 2001, which is why that so I remember the Rumble, I remember the strap match, and then but I'm kind of stuck to this thing now where from there to I think Cena and Rock, it's all just one big grey area. I've seen YouTube highlights and stuff like that, but I'm trying to kind of catch up and see everything. It's so because there's so much out there.
I'm so blatantly obvious with my favourites, who are like Stone Cold and The Rock. Stone Cold, The Rock, and CM Punk are my 3 favourites.
And I think if you look at people like Stone Cold and The Rock, technically, wrestling-wise, they weren't necessarily that gifted.
Stone Cold was before he got injured.
True.
But then he developed a character, which meant he didn't need to.
This is it. It's like I think when everyone's talking about Cena and his 5 moves of doom, The Rock kind of piped up and was like, "Yeah, but guys, I only ever hit 3 moves. Look where I got." Like it's
I think
wrestling
The Rock
isn't about wrestling.
The Rock, I would say The Rock's my hero.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally, everything he does is gold.
You look at his
if he's not
life
the
now,
president, I'll leave my hat
Yeah.
at one point.
It's possible. It's possible.
I'm convinced he'll become the president.
Yeah. I could. I think maybe put it like a presidency on a pole match and him and Trump in there and see what happens. Book it for Hope.
I might put it on the future show.
Yeah. And what point did you kind of go from watching and then thinking, you know what, I'm going to give this a go? Like, did you discover local wrestling and indie wrestling, or?
I knew nothing about indie wrestling. Somebody got me into it, said come along to a training session. I tried it out and I was like, wow, that is absolutely horrendous. It kills. It is hard. And I'm not interested.
Do you still talk to that person that got you into it?
No. That's what I've referred to him as that person because I can't even bring myself to speak. But anyway, so there was that, and then maybe a year went by, and I tried it again, and I'm just a bit more persistent with it.
Yeah. Why did you try again after you like?
The same guy was just like, "Well, you just give another go."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay," and did, and I think just because I'd already gone through that first thinking, "Wow." I can remember being in the ring and watching him powerbomb somebody, and obviously he was selling, and I was like, "Shit, he's him."
Yeah,
like, I was completely.
You bought in.
I was bought into it. I was like, "Wow, like this looks like it hurts." And then the training session started, and it did. Like the first training session with everybody, like my partner's like did her first training session recently, and she was like, "I'm like, you will wake up tomorrow." And you will be in agony, and your neck will never feel this way ever again, like as bad as it will feel after your first one. And it is. So yeah, it was essentially like, no, it's not for me. This, and then I went back to it, like trained. But then what we were speaking about earlier, being quite lazy and only sporadically training, nowhere near as much as I should.
So I guess if you tried it and it hurt like hell, you're like, no, never again. You give it, you try it again, it hurts like hell. What was it about it? What was it about it that made you keep going back to? Because obviously it does hurt. Like, I'm not going to say that, but like
kills.
To say that you tried it and you didn't go anywhere. You weren't like, yeah, I want to do this again next week. You were like, no, that's me done. What?
I think that first time it was a case of no matter how much I enjoyed this, I was just like, oh, it hurt too much, and because I'm basically a pussy. But the second time, I knew that it was going to hurt, so right, I've got over that first barrier of like the pain and stuff. So I just carried on, and I mean, I think by then I got that much more into wrestling that I was like starting to become back in love with it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just carried it on. But like we've got the training school now, so I'm actually going up and training, which is good because we run the training school. Yeah, and I can just go up there because I go up there.
And that's based in, I want to say Batley. Yeah. It's actually outside Leeds. Yeah.
Good little training school, really good little complex. That we've got going up there, good little deal, and it's with Kip Sabian, who is
he's hella talented.
If he doesn't go somewhere, then I'd be stunned. He's only 25. He's been wrestling 10 years, something like that.
It's crazy.
Trained by the WAW guys, the Knights and all that.
Norwich.
Surrounded himself with high caliber people. If he didn't get somewhere, especially with his super bad persona and stuff. Because he'll be the first to admit, like he was telling me the other day, that to start with, he was one of the people that could do all the moves, and he can. I watch him training, and he can do anything. But he said until he got the balls to start putting these promos across and like getting a bit braver with that, he didn't get anywhere, and now he's getting everywhere. And he's somebody I would say, if there's anybody out there that should be getting a contract somewhere, it'd be him. I don't want him to leave because I want him to trademark.
Of course.
I want him to make me something good on a personal level, and I also love him as a friend. He's one of my close friends. So, but God, he's got the world at his feet. Or he deserves to.
Without that, I think he just needs to catch that one break. Have the right person watch one of his matches, and all of a sudden that would be it for him.
If William Regal came back across, because it was actually a hope show apparently where William Regal saw Pete Dunne.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wow.
That's what I'm led to believe.
Yeah.
Regal was at our show backstage, and I wasn't there. Currently not being there.
Damn it.
This is before I was like involved in running it. It was like a show I weren't there at. And Pete Dunne was there on that show. If William Regal came and saw Kip, I believe that something would start snowballing for him. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah. No. I can see why. I think for me, he kind of came out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he was King's of Flight champ, and then. Everyone's talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to check this guy out. And then I think I called couple of his matches, I was like, okay, shit, I can see that he has got. So yeah, so
he moved up from Norwich up to like because he lives in Leeds.
Yeah.
And then I can remember him just appearing and being like, "Who is this guy?"
Just out of nowhere.
Like, out of nowhere, because he's good friends with Dale, and just being like, "Who is this guy?" And then watching him and being like, "How have I never heard of this guy?" Like ever. And now obviously he's a mainstay on every show that we've got. He's there now. He's involved in the training of the people that will eventually start going on to the future show. So he's literally covers the entire.
He's spectrum.
He's one of the. He can be in the main event. Like last night, was in the main event of our show, all the way down to training the people that aren't even on the future shows yet. So he's deeply rooted into Hope, which is why I love him.
Yeah. So let's kind of pull this full circle. Start we'll start taking it home. So obviously all this shit's gone down with Harvey. You've got this match coming up. We'll direct everyone to it. It's on the Hope Facebook page, isn't it?
Yeah,
the Hope live video. You and Dale in the ring. Storylines aside and character work aside, the last kind of closing moments of it, we'll put that aside. It was very personal. Yep. It was very honest. It was very as I would say, to the bone. What's your feelings going into this match with him? Like, are you feeling more pressure? Like, because in a way, it's almost not even about the match. As a performer, what's that like, knowing that you're now going into this on the 16th? And
the pressure of it is that I can promise that we'll absolutely kick shit out of each other.
Yeah,
this ain't going to be a technical.
Of course,
if there's a single wrestler, we will all be stunned. And I'm sure that we'll both say after the amount that we've wound each other up recently, we'll probably be laying in a few shots on each other. Which will be quite
let the frustrations out.
A little bit of frustration. And it's man versus man and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure it'll be quite brutal. There's a lot of pressure because things got said in that promo which probably shouldn't have, but they did.
What do you think?
Just like things that addressing people, naming names.
Okay.
But that was a decision from us both.
Yeah.
It is what it is. People don't like it, and to be quite frank, I don't care because people have tried to.
People are name dropping you guys all the time.
People not so much me. I don't get it half as bad as Dale does. But as far as I'm concerned now, I could easily never breathe any other promoter's name ever again. I don't really care.
But you're playing by their rules. Like that's if that's the way they want to play, that's how you're going to play it in return. Yeah, there's only so much you can take.
And all I want, and a genuine thing is, all I want is everybody to make this business better. Yeah. That is all I care about. I know that Dale don't get along with quite a few people, but I try to get along with the vast majority. Yeah. I've got a couple that I won't speak to. Of course, if I'm in the same room as them now. But the pressure, almost that we blurred the lines. We really did blur the lines. Yeah. But this goes all the way back to WCW telling the fans what the taped WWE results were. Yeah. Lines get blurred in wrestling all the time. It's a dodgy business at times. It makes you feel crap a lot of time.
Unfortunately so. Yeah.
And it does, and it's sometimes very challenging to carry on with it. As I were up until yesterday, not really interested. Yeah. So the pressure of being, I'm presuming it'll be main event because it's quite an important thing.
I'd say so, yeah.
But I don't think you will ever find in the history of this company or moving forward a story that is as true as this one. 100%. I genuinely don't. I don't think anything, because
I don't think anyone would argue with that, to be honest.
People will have said, no, this has all been a work. No, it hasn't. Yeah. It has not. Yeah. The arguments that me and my partner, me and Emma have had, are literally.
She's a saint, right?
She's a saint. Yeah. She's the best, and she's been really, really down about the whole thing.
Has she had any? Were you just by the way, you're in this now, or did she?
Yeah, she loves it. We own a wrestling ring, and she knows how to put it up, and I don't. She's the one that does all the work. She's the workhorse behind this, and she's the person that has to pull me back sometimes and give me a good telling off. She gave me a good telling off on the way down here today. Okay. She gave me a good rinsing. Yeah. And she was right to. Sometimes she has to put me back in my lane, kind of.
Yeah.
But you'll not find anything realer than this.
Yeah.
This is kind of like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels being in the ring, after the whole Montreal screw job.
Yeah. I mean, we go back to the CM Punk pipe bomb. We go back to Shawn Michaels stealing Bulldog's wife. I guess that's two very real moments in wrestling that have connected with you on a very deep level, and
we could have gone out there.
You're living it. No,
we could have gone out there and completely ignored that it ever happened.
Yeah.
And I would have been less comfortable doing that. Like, just sweep it under carpet.
For the sake of the fans, I guess. Yeah,
sweep it under carpet. No, people know in wrestling. People know exactly what's going on now.
Yeah.
And mainly because I maybe naively put it on Facebook, and shared it with a little bit of the world. Probably through inexperience on my own part, and just pure stress. But people know what's going on.
Yeah.
So for me almost to insult their intelligence by pretending nothing's happened and just like, we're at this show, we've lobbed it together last minute and everything's fine. Everything isn't fine.
Yeah.
Everything wasn't fine.
Yeah. And I think it's going to take a while for it to get back to being fine. Yeah.
Well, like it is what it is, but this, to quote The Greatest Showman, which, if you haven't been to see The Greatest Showman...
how many times have you now seen this film?
3 times. I went to see it on my own the other day. It's so good. The show must go on.
Yeah.
And that is what's going to happen, and the 16th will be a show that is so deeply rooted with realism that I don't think it can be missed.
Yeah.
I can't miss it because I'm going to be there.
I'm literally, as we're talking about it now, I'm trying to find ways in my mind where I can get out of work, or if I'm thinking to myself, if I leave work when I normally do on a Friday, can I physically make it in time? Fuck the rest of the card. Can I make it for that main event?
The rest of the card will also be good.
Oh, of course, yeah, but I know I won't be able to make it for doors, but I'm wondering to myself, will I be able to make it in time for that main? Will I be able to twist someone's arm to let me go early? They would 99% say no, but I'm now thinking, it's become now, because it's really, because obviously a company that I'm kind of involved in some way, shape or form as well, I guess there's a lot of people that have a lot riding on it, maybe, I guess?
I think
as far as behind the scenes, or... It's
real. It's also another match where could it be added to my streak? It's like either add it to the Jack Cave streak, or if he wins, he gets everything. And it's weird for me to kind of go from this comedy kind of character to really bringing in that realism.
Yeah.
Because aside from people knowing online where I've posted things, I've never acted as like a manager role, like an owner role or anything like that. So this realism has literally been brought into it, and now it's like this ain't Jack Cave, the guy that gets beat up every week. This is like Liam Morley, the person that actually half owns this place.
That's trying to keep all the pieces together.
So I can only promise that it's going to be one to watch.
Yes.
And there'll not be a moonsault. There'll probably won't be a wrist lock, but I can imagine that there's going to be quite a lot of things broken.
Yeah.
In general.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hopefully not bones though. Let's keep that off the
noses.
Off the agenda. Yeah. But no, I say it's all of a sudden it's become one of the most. I don't want to say an intriguing storyline because that's obviously I don't want to discredit the real shit behind it all, but it's an insane story, and the way it's all played out, both in and out the ring and in and out storylines, is how anyone's keeping it together. It's an insane ride. As far as I'm looking at it, it's art limits.
Tell me the company that's done something like this.
I couldn't. I couldn't.
Be it good or bad. Tell me the company that's done something like
I don't think I could. Where are you at on the social medias? Obviously, we know there's the Hope Facebook page. I'm sure everybody will already be following and liking.
That's a good question. I maybe should look. My Instagram is Jack_Cave_88. Usually just pictures of my cats on that.
Okay, cat pics, yeah.
If anybody don't like cat pics, then you're definitely not for me. And my Twitter, which I will have a look at now. I should really know this off by heart, shouldn't I? It's quite simply The Jack Cave. I did not think it was that.
The Jack Cave.
The Jack Cave, at The Jack Cave.
As if there's more than one.
There's probably a lot more people that are talented out there. More talented than me called Jack Cave.
And as far as Hope Future got its own Facebook page?
No, we just keep the whole...
Keep under the umbrella.
Yeah, the umbrella, because if I start off a Hope Future page at the minute, like it'd take me a long time to get the 8,000 and 8,500 followers that the Hope main page has.
Yeah.
We want the Future brand to grow, so let's target the 8,500 people.
That's it, rather than start from
absolutely.
Cool, man. Well, thanks very much for joining me. Good luck for the 16th.
Yeah. I don't think I'll need it personally. But.
Yeah. It's I regardless if I'm going to be able to beat the traffic or not, I can't wait to see.
I'm sure we might be able to Facebook Live it so people can sit and watch it and hate it.
Yeah.
or hate on it.
But either way, I can't wait to see it regardless.
Good.
Cheers, man.
You're welcome.
Figure 4 Radio.
There we go, folks. Jack Cave, Liam Morley, whatever you want to call him. That was a very open and honest podcast. I'll be on, and he said it a number of times, and I'll just reiterate it. This isn't a storyline. This is real life, kind of overflowing into the wrestling ring rather than wrestling overflowing into life. The situation with Harvey is very serious in my eyes. The abuse, I guess, that he's been subjected to is nobody deserves that. And I've got on record now saying I've got all the respect in the world for Harvey. Granted, he can be a bit of a dickhead at times, and I'm sure he'll be the first to admit that, but he's never claimed to be anything but. I get that a lot of people kind of are rubbed up the wrong way by him. He pushes people's buttons, but he's never claimed to be anything less than what he is. And I've got to respect that. You know, he doesn't kind of stab people in the back. He's not two-faced. If he doesn't like you, he'll say it. If he doesn't like a situation, he will say it. And I've got a lot of respect for him in that, with that in mind. So yeah, regardless of whether I can make it this coming Friday, if you listen to this on release week, it's a very big deal as far as Hope Wrestling goes, because there's a lot of people that don't really know what's going on. Myself, I'm involved in the Hope Future brand, hoping to get more involved in the Hope brand, and it's uneven because we don't really know what's going on. So this match is going to be a very interesting watch indeed. I think is a safe way to put it. You might also notice my husky voice as well. Unfortunately, straight after we recorded the podcast, we went into Sacrifice Pro Chapter 11, and just before the main event, I apparently forgot how to swallow and choked on my own saliva, and that's just roasted my throat. I've been told that the entire show will be made available on Fight TV, so my most embarrassing commentary moment will be available for free for everybody to watch, which is both amazing. It'll be on Fight, and horribly embarrassing that I managed to almost ruin the main event by apparently choking on nothing. But anyway, yes, let's get back to our sign-offs. If you don't already like us on Facebook, head over to facebook.com/figure4radio. Give us a like, pop us a comment, let us know what you think. Actually, another thing I want to say, straight after the show, Sacrifice Chapter 11, a fan came up and said, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the lady's name, but she came up and said, I really enjoy listening to your podcasts, and I'll be honest, I've been doing this for, I want to say, like 5 years. We've been doing podcasts for now, and that's the first time that a fan has come up and said that they really enjoy it and actually let us know. So I apologise for not asking your name, but that meant the absolute world to me. So thank you very much for that. That definitely put the wind back in my sails after an embarrassing main event. So yeah, give us a like on Facebook. We also have a Twitter and an Instagram, which is at Figure4 Radio. Or there's also myself, the Mastermind Ollie Spring. Follow me on both of those. It's at F4R_Mastermind for both. We have a website, which is figure4radio.weebly.com. We have youtube.com/F4TV. We put up all our archives onto YouTube, so do go back and check out all of the ones on there. Basically, every time we bring you something new, every single week, we have to make room with the by moving some of the old stuff across. So that all gets moved onto YouTube, and I do believe that my podcast with Harvey Dale from just over a year ago should be on there as well. So there's plenty on there. Go and give it a check. And you can find me at the following places: March 23rd, Hope Future; March 25th, Exposure Wrestling over in Wales. Then on the 31st, I'll be at DOA. Then the 8th of April will be Sacrifice. I also might be making a trip up to SWA for their anniversary show on the 7th, just to soak it up for shits and giggles, really. World War Wrestling is on the 15th of April. Again, I'm not involved, but I'm probably going to make the way over and soak up the show. There is a very interesting kind of joint venture happening on the 22nd of April around the Midlands area. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it's being called, but it's like a
collaboration between quite a few kind of wrestling promotions up that way, which is really cool to see. It's being set up by Styx, a guy I've got a lot of time for, so that's really cool to see. And then we've got the 28th of April, which is Hope Future, and then the 29th is Pro Wrestling Clash down in Boreham Wood. So do check out all of those cool companies that I'm working for. They're all doing great stuff. And I'd say if you're a company that aren't on that list and you want me to come along and commentate, do get in touch with me on the social medias, because I would love to branch out and find myself on some more cards. Next week, I'm hoping to be bringing another special podcast from a wrestler down here. That was the main bit of feedback from my new number one fan. Said she really loves listening to the ones with all the local wrestlers. So I'm going to hopefully get a few more on over the next coming weeks. I think the problem is that there's quite a lot of local wrestlers, and a lot of the Saki P guys have kind of just started with around Saki P. There's not too many people that have kind of branched out and had those road trips and had the opportunities to gather up those cool stories. But I'm hoping there's a few people that I can get in touch with to give me a nice long podcast. So definitely stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled next week. But until then, I've been the Mastermind Ollie Spring, and we'll see you next time on